Businessman and politician Paa Kwesi Ndoum has been granted the approval by the Supreme Court to challenge the license revocation of the GN Bank at the High Court. The license of GN Bank, which operated under the Group Ndoum brand, the GN brand, was among those revoked during the banking sector cleanup exercise in 2018. Supreme Court clears Ndoum. And I like this story because I like the fighting spirit of Dr. Ndoum. You know, he's done well. He studied in St. Augustine's, went to America, built his empire, worked with Deloitte Touche Tomato, came back and then became a Minister of Energy. He was instrumental in the foundation that was laid to find petroleum in 2007. Ndoum later worked at the public sector reform. Ndoum was also part of the Millennium Challenge Account #1. He represented Ghana in all of the negotiations, the loan that has given us the N1 road for those in Accra who know it. So Ndoum is somebody that we all used to look up to. Personally, I had a personal relationship with him for one reason. In 2001, this is an interesting story, March 2001, when I got in touch with Talal Fatal to start this program, I had just come from the UK at the time. I was still in school, and then we had to do a program. I thought we should call it News Nights. Talal thought we should call it Good Evening Ghana. So we called it Good Evening Ghana. So we had to present a program for day one. When we started to set out the program, we didn't know how it was going to go. So Talal said, let's start at 7 o'clock. And do it for 15 minutes. At that time, Metro was not doing news at all. So let's start at 7 o'clock and do it for 15 minutes and see what happened. Eventually, we started the program at 7:40. Very awkward time. And the program went on till 10 o'clock. And when we signed off, we were all clapping and celebrating because we thought we had started a very good thing. Yeah, we knew that God was with us and God is still with us. So we know that we had started a good thing. But we were surprised about the outcome of day one. When we opened the phone lines, people kept calling, and Talal was the producer. He was urging me, go on, go on, go on. Paa Kwesi Ndoum was the guest on that show. He and, unfortunately, he passed, Edward Salia. But Paa Kwesi Ndoum was a guest. And I knew Paa Kwesi Ndoum was a member of parliament. And he got Salia to come. I knew Salia, but I didn't know him that well. So it was Paa Kwesi Ndoum who actually produced the first edition of Good Evening Ghana for us. I went to his house and I said, Doc, we are starting a new TV program. He knew me from my report of Joy FM, Election 2000. He knew me. So I said, we are starting a new program on Metro TV. I'm going to be hosting it. He said, you're going to host the program? I said, yes. He said, but what are you going to call it? I said, Good Evening Ghana. I said, well, that's a good name. He said, but are you going to do it by yourself? I said, yes. He said, hey, Paul, how old are you? I said, I'm 20-something. You know, he looked at me again and said, oh, but you can do it. It still rings in my mind. Ndoum told me, but you can do it. After he asked me, how old are you? I said, I'm 20-something. He said, oh, but you can do it. And that has spurred me on. I have a very personal attachment to Dr. Ndoum. Because of that, he told me that, but you can do it. It was in his house where he still lives when he's in Ghana at Northridge. He said, oh, but you can do it. And he said, so what do you want me to do? And I said, will you be a guest on the program? He said, oh, of course. And then he called his wife and said, hey, I'm going to be a guest on Paul's new TV show. His wife came down the stairs and said, you're going to have a new TV show? I said, yes. I said, where? I said, Metro TV. He said, well, Metro TV, they don't do news. So it's not just entertainment and sports. I said, well, but they are starting news now, you know. So I have a personal attachment to Dr. Ndoum. And when I'm in Elmina, I stay in his hotel. And, you know, when Komla was alive, we would go and see him and we have beautiful chats with him. He's very, very big brain. Somehow in 2008, I wasn't too sure about his campaign. And I used to argue with him a lot. I used to say, Dr. Ndoum, you're not going to win this thing. You're just going to waste somebody's time. Nana Akufo-Addo may win this election. But if you are doing this, your campaign, you're going to get 1-3-2%, and you're going to take it from him. He said, oh, you want Nana Akufo-Addo to win? I said, well, I think so. He said, no, we are going to win. You people don't believe the CPP. For the first time, the CPP is going to win. So he will invite me to a campaign press conference. I wouldn't attend. And he'll be quite unhappy and say, I called you, you didn't come. Why? I said, oh, Doc, this is your campaign. And he says, okay, David Ampofo will come on your show. Can he come? I said, Doc, because of your relationship with Good Evening Ghana, anything you want on Good Evening Ghana, we'll do it. He said, okay, David Ampofo is coming. David came to the show and rattled CPP, and he spoke in Fanti, and it was such a great program. So when Dr. Ndoum's bank was taken, he was in America, he sent me a couple of texts. And when I read them, I felt very bad. I asked the people that, this Ndoum GN Bank, they said, oh, the books are not good. I said, yeah, this is a difficult matter. Anyway, then one day I met his son, and he said, you know me? I said, no. He said, I'm something Ndoum. I said, oh, yes, Dr. Ndoum's son. And then he knew my relationship with his father, so we spoke and all that. At that time, he was talking about some financial issues, which I won't say here, you know. So, and he was beginning new things. I think he started some of those new things, and they are succeeding. So, Dr. Ndoum, good evening to you. Thank you very much wherever you are. I hope that this Supreme Court grant opportunity for you will achieve something good for your image and for your bank and for your corporate and your love for Ghana also. Dr. Ndoum maybe had a football club, didn't he? So, Doc, we are with you, yeah? I salute you, and we are with you.